In this video, we're looking at how we can graph a line from an equation. To do this, we're going to make use of the gradient intercept form. So we need to remember that our gradient here is m and our y-intercept is c. So we have gradient and our y-intercept. Now using those, we can draw our graph. Now this is a summary of what we need to do. First, we need to put our equation into gradient intercept form. Once we have it in that form, we can easily find the y-intercept and the gradient. So first we plot the y-intercept, then we use the gradient to plot another point, and then we join the 2 points. I'm going to go through more detail now. Okay, so here we have a line to graph. It's already in gradient intercept form, so we can go ahead to the second step, which is plotting the y-intercept. So our y-intercept here is the -2. If we remember, y equals mx plus c is our gradient intercept form. So here we're adding -2, so -2 is our intercept. So we can put a dot there. Now our gradient is going to be 2. It's more helpful if we make this into a fraction. So 2 is the same as 2 over 1. 2 divided by 1 is 2. And now we remember that a gradient is going to be the same as rise over run. So this is the basic definition of gradient. So our rise is going to be 2 and our run is going to be 1. So now we can go onto our graph and we can actually draw that. So we can draw an arrow going up 1, so it rises 2, and it's going to run 1. So it rises 2, gets to this point here, runs 1, ends up here. So now we have 2 points on our line, so we can just draw a straight line through them. Okay, so that's our line, and then we need to label it. So we get y equals 2x minus 2. Okay, now we're going to graph this line. Here we have our gradient, which is -1/2, and we have our y-intercept, which is 1. So we start by plotting our y-intercept, which is 1. Our gradient is -1/2. Now we need to simplify this to be a number over another number without the half out the front. So we could write this as -1/2, or we could write it as 1 over -2. And I'm going to show you what both of these will do. Ultimately, we're going to get the same line. So remember, we have rise over run. So if we have a rise of -1, that means we're actually going to go down 1. So we go down 1, and then we run across 2. So we run 2, and we're going to get to this point. If we were to use the other shape, so we put the minus on the bottom, on the denominator, we would have a rise of 1 and a run of -2. So going to this time, rise 1 plus 1, and then we're going to run -2. So we're going to actually go backwards in that direction. So we're going to end up at this point here. Now, you notice that they are different points. However, they are both on the same straight line. So it doesn't matter which order you put these minuses on. If it's on the top or the bottom, you're going to get the same line equation. So then we just need to label it. Y equals -1/2 x plus 1. Okay, this graph is not in gradient intercept form, so we need to change it so it's in that form. So we're going to take our 2y, we're going to add, do the opposite of adding 3x, we're going to subtract 3x from both sides. So we're going to get this. We want to take the -2 over there, so we're going to do the opposite operation, which is adding 2. So you get 2y equals -3x plus 2. And then we're going to divide both sides by 2 to get rid of the multiplying by 2 here. So you're going to get y equals -3/2x plus 1. Okay, so now we have our y-intercept, which is our 1. So we can put a point there. And then we can get our gradient. Now gradient is -3/2. So -3/2 is our gradient. And again, this is our rise over run. So it's going to rise -3, so it's going to actually go down 3. And then it's going to run 2, so it goes there. Now we get the point, and we can draw our line across. When you do this, you should use a ruler, and your line should go through both of your points better than mine did here. And then we write 3x plus 2y minus 2 equals 0, because that's the name of the equation. Okay, now it's your turn. Have a go at graphing this one. Okay, so we have our gradient and our y-intercept. Our y-intercept is 2. Our gradient is -3, so it's going to go down 3, or rise -3 and go running 1. So we're going to get this point there. So the line for this one is going to look like this. Okay, it's your turn. Have a go at this one. Okay, so we have our y-intercept. This time is a half. So we're going to have our y-intercept here. And then we have a gradient of 2. So we're going to go, I'll write it again, 2 over 1. So our rise is 2, our run is 1. So it's going to go up 1, 2 to be halfway between 2 and 3. Then it's going to run across 1. So we're going to end up at this point here. Sorry, that's not a point. And then we draw our line through them. And that's our equation, y equals 2x plus a half. Okay, this is our final equation. It's not in gradient intercept form, so we need to change it into that. So we're going to minus 4x to undo the adding 4x here. So we're going to get y minus 2 is minus 4x. And then we're going to add 2 to undo the minusing 2, subtracting 2. So we get minus 4x plus 2. Now we have our y-intercept, which is 2. So we can put our dot there. And our gradient is minus 4. So it's going to rise minus 4. So we're going to go down there, and it's going to run 1. And we get this point there. So our line is going to look something like this. Oops, I'll do that again. Yeah. Again, when you're using doing this in person, you should be using a ruler. So you get 4x plus y minus 2 equals 0. And that's the answer for that equation. If you have any questions, please bring them to me. Otherwise, continue working through the activities. Thank you.